This isn't a person. It's not even trying to be. Most people use AI to fix anatomy. They want the perfect five-fingered hand, the symmetrical face, the correct number of limbs. I want the exact opposite. I've always been obsessed with the uncanny. There's something deeply unsettling, yet strangely beautiful about a form that almost looks human but breaks every rule of biology. For me, that obsession centers on hands. They are our primary tools for creation, but when you multiply them, morph them, and tangle them into a single organism, they become something else entirely. Today I'm taking you inside my process using Meta AI to create what I call the hand human. We aren't looking for realism here, we're looking for the nightmare. Every artist has a signature. Mine is the void. I create almost exclusively on a pitch black background. It strips away the context of the world and forces you to look at the subject's movement and texture. I started with a specific vision. Animate a surreal person completely made up of human hands doing a backflip. The person is like a fantasy human that is composed entirely of human hands and fingers. The first results? They were okay, they were promising, but they lacked that void energy. I realized I'd forgotten to specify my world, so I ran it again, leaning into my style. This is where things got interesting. The AI didn't give me a person in the traditional sense. Instead, it gave me these fascinating tangled loops, a bundle of fingers and palms tumbling through the air. It wasn't a backflip, it was a rhythmic anatomical glitch. I found myself rolling the prompt over and over. In AI art, prompting is only half the battle, the rest is curating. One result in particular stopped me in my tracks. The movement was incredibly dynamic. It had this frantic tumbling energy where you couldn't tell where one arm ended and the next began. It felt alive, but in a way that defied nature. I tried to push it further. I changed the prompt to specify the person was made of fingers instead of hands, thinking it would add a more spindly, insect-like texture. Interestingly, it didn't work. It lost that weight that the palms and wrists provided. It's a reminder that even in surrealism there's a balance. You need enough reality for the unreality to feel grounded. Not every experiment is a masterpiece. I had this vision of a woman whose head was a blooming flower of hands. The prompt was, animate a surreal person who has a head that is entirely composed of human hands. Her hand head opens and reveals an inner world full of human eyeballs. On paper it sounded like a classic surrealist trope, but the AI struggled. It couldn't quite grasp the nested complexity of a hand head opening into an eyeball world. The results were muddy. They lacked the visceral impact of the tumbling hand bundles. I also tried a more geometric approach, a kaleidoscopic structure of dancing hands on a black studio background. Visually, it was intricate, but the movement felt uninteresting. It lost the meat-like organic horror that makes my style work. It was too pretty and not unsettling enough. What I learned from this session is that Meta AI is at its best when it's confused, when it tries to stitch together human and backflip and too many limbs. It creates movement that a human animator might never think of. I'm not looking for a tool that follows my instructions perfectly. I'm looking for a collaborator that makes mistakes I can fall in love with. Dark surrealism isn't about what's there. It's about what's wrong with what's there. And in these tangled multi-limb loops, I found exactly the kind of wrong I was looking for.